Hey guys, I'm Cody, the editor behind Past Life Pro, and in this Minecraft shader tutorial, I want to get you well and truly acquainted with the Shader.Properties, which, if you didn't already know, houses the code that makes up the shader options menu. While there are a lot of interesting lines of code that can definitely be found in the Shader.Properties, I'll mainly be focusing on teaching you some key concepts, of which will provide you with a nice insight into how the code relates to what you see in game. We'll be going over the screen equals, the names you see in brackets, the screen dot command, the empty text within less than and greater than signs, and the text without any signs surrounding them. You'll soon know what all of these are used for, and this will help you tremendously in making the shader options menu more your style, whatever that may be. Watch towards the end of my lesson, and you'll be paired with an awesome example of all these concepts in use. And yes, like I said before, there are a lot of interesting lines of code that you will come across in this code file, definitely depending on the type of shader that you're using. And in the case of things like graphics preset profiles and slider tabs, these will be touched on in future tutorials. Well then, I'm done with my introduction. My friends, let's get started. Navigate to and open the Shader.Properties. For myself, I'm using the Sildurs Vibrant Shaders V1.281 Extreme VL, so my Shader.Properties looks like this. For you and your shader, it will look different, but that's nothing to be afraid of, because the concepts I'll be teaching you will be present in all the shaders packs. Well, unless they're super old, of course. First on the agenda, let's proceed to the line of code starting with screen equals. Okay, when you press the shader options button in Minecraft, you are effectively entering this screen equals line of code. So yes, this is your first page. And rather than me just telling it like it is and you accepting it as nothing but the truth doctrine, how about I prove it? I'm going to update this line of code so that you can see exactly how it affects Minecraft. If I temporarily removed all the text that follows the equal sign, save, and refresh the shader, I will get a blank first page, because there are no menu tabs or effects tabs present anymore. So yes, tangent aside, remember that when you see screen equals present in the code of the Shader.Properties, that line is what houses the code that makes up the first page of the shader options menu for the shader that you're using. If you want to have an effects tab sent to the first page instead, you know where it would go in the code. Second on the agenda, I want you to feast your eyes on the contents following screen equals. The names that are surrounded by brackets, these are your sub-tabs, of which you can see from the first page of the shader options menu. However, just because you have a sub-tab set up after screen equals, it doesn't mean your tab will show up in game. What am I talking about? What am I going on about now? Well, take for example bloom_screen in brackets. This bloom menu shows up in-game because there is a screen.bloom_screen equals set up as well. Each name in brackets must always have its own respective screen dot name that was set up in the brackets equals to go along with it. Let me prove it. If I temporarily deleted all of line 39, which contained the screen dot code for the bloom menu, you'll see that the bloom tab suddenly no longer exists in Minecraft, even when bloom_screen in brackets exists in the screen equals code. In summary, when you are setting up sub-tabs where you can click on them to see the contents within, make sure you also create a screen dot, the name you put in brackets, equals as well. This screen dot command can be added to an existing blank line of code, or you could just hit enter on your keyboard to make a blank line yourself. And yes, if this wasn't already clear to you, everything that we could add to the screen equals line of code, which is the first page of the shader options menu, we can add it to the screen dot equals line of the code too, in the same exact fashion. Third on the agenda, in most all shaders you will come across empty, surrounded by less than and greater than signs. When you type one of these in, like I'm doing between AA_screen and bloom_screen, a tab worth of space will be taken up by nothingness. As you can see in Minecraft, there is now a space between anti-aliasing, which is AA_screen, and the bloom menu. As I'm sure you're catching on, getting the tabs organized in a manner that you see fit is the purpose of empty, surrounded by less than and greater than signs. Now, fourth and final thing on the agenda. For the text you'll find that isn't surrounded by any brackets or less than or greater than signs. These are the effects that you're able to change the settings for in Minecraft. An example of an effects tab would be something like the brightness setting in the shader options menu, which is initiated via the brightness text in the screen.colors_screen equals line of code. Alrighty, now that you have all that information under your belt, let's use it to create our own menu tab on the first page of the shader options menu, with subtabs and effects tabs inside it. To start off, I'm going to set up a menu tab that I can click into on the first page. So I would go up to the screen equals line of code and add the name of the tab in brackets. I'm going to call it past_life_pro_settings. So that this tab shows up in-game, I will also be setting up a screen.past_life_pro_settings equals as well. If you save the Shader.Properties and refresh the shader in Minecraft, you'll see that my menu does exist, but it is empty. I'm going to fix that. Back in the code, I'm going to add a subtab called cinematic_tools, another called important_redirects, and I want an effect present beside these folders that can turn on and off the lens flare in the Sildurs shader, which would be lens_flares. The lens flare on and off button will be present in game, but the cinematic_tools and important_redirects will need their respective screen.equals commands. To keep things more or less organized on my end, I'm going to create a comment, which won't be run by the shader, called #past_life_pro_settings subtabs, which will appear green in Notepad++. Underneath it, I'm going to add in screen.cinematic_tools equals and screen.important_redirects equals. For what will go inside these subtabs, I'll add into the first subtab, sun path rotation, which allows me to adjust the angle of the sun/moon, and palm_depth, which allows me to adjust the palm amount on parallax occlusional mapping compatible resource packs. So that I have one setting on top of the other, I'm going to put in between these two an empty, surrounded by less than and greater than signs. For the second subtab, I'm going to redirect the depth of field menu to my own menu. I'm going to add in brackets DOF_screen, which is seen as depth of field in Minecraft. Since the depth of field menu was already set up by Sildurs, the Shaders Pack developer, I won't need to set up a screen.dof_screen equals, since as you can see, it's right over here. And as you will see, the original depth of field menu still lives on. I just use coding to have the menu also appear in my past_life_pro_settings tab. My friends, that's it for my example. Save the Shader.Properties and check out what now exists in the shader options menu. Now, before I move on to my outro, perhaps the thought has crossed your mind, and you're asking yourself, how do I get a slider to show up that I can drag to choose my choice of setting, instead of a single click method? Well, tune in next Friday to Past Life Pro, where I'll be airing a tutorial on doing just that. Hope to see you there. Hey guys, thanks for watching this Minecraft shader tutorial. If you appreciate my work and want to support me financially, then consider supporting me on Patreon. That's right, I now have one. If you want Past Life Pro to continue providing you with awesome Minecraft cinematic and tutorial content far into the future, then here's a way you can help me out on that journey. I've also listed my Past Life Pro PayPal support link if that's more your style. More Minecraft coding tutorials are on the way, coming every week Friday, so if you don't want to miss those, then do hit that subscribe button. It's free. And lastly, if you have any suggestions for future videos or perhaps you want to see a different game entirely in some respect, then let me know in the comment section down below. Anyways, I'm Cody and this is Past Life Pro, where creativity is always a part of my life as it will be for yours. Alright, see you guys.